Well, hello all you beautiful peeps out there in the interwebs. This is Tashlan, Child of the Dog, Puddin' and Pie the Pussycats, and we are welcoming you to Prison Architect. And I am using new capture software to record this, because the previous capture software I was using, I had no end of problems with it, with the files actually corrupting, so they were being unusable. So that was a bit of a oh dear. So yes, hopefully this will capture just as well, and it is actually a better program. It's a more complicated program, and this is why I've known about it for a long while, but I've been a bit cautious with it. But I've had a lot of tech support thanks to the wonderful brains behind the Creative crew. So I'm feeling a little more confident about using this software. So we'll see how it goes. And now that I've finished sort of waffling on, I'm trying to think what it was that we were going to do. We've worked on our security, so it looks like what we need to do is just increase the size of our force. So let's go to the wrong thing first, and we obviously need 10 more guards. I'm not sure we can afford 10 more guards though. Just looking at our cash flow, I would pretty much say we can't. So what we need to do is we actually need to increase the size of our prison first. And I think this is pretty much what we were planning on doing. We've got our little staff area up here. But what we'd like to do is in this area we'll have our next prison. And this is where this long corridor is going to come in quite handy, because like we've done here, we can bung utilities and whatever else in here, and we want to build something like this, but we want proper cells. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of planning. I'm leaving this run because I'm actually going to let it run faster. I want it to run so that we've got daylight to do our planning, because I know you get this little flashlight that sort of shows you what's going on, but in all honesty, that's not really good when you're trying to plan out something fairly large scale, and you really want to see what's going on. But you can see already it's getting lighter. We're heading into daytime, and then I will pause it so that we can do our planning stages. There we go, it's brightening up beautifully. Come on, soon the prisoners will be waking up and being all grumpy at us. And that's enough daylight, so I'm going to put that on pause. Now all of the rooms that we've got in here, I'm using this now as a template in a way for our new thing, so that we know what we want in our new wing, although we are going to want to make it a bit different. I think we probably want to make our kitchen a little bit bigger, etc, etc. So when we go into our planning, we'll go into walls, and I'm going to just extend this across, because I do quite like the feeling of having this rather large corridor. That's sort of, because this is quite a large space, it's something that we can then, drag things up, and we won't have a lot of congestion here. And you will find if you have a lot of prisoners moving about, if there's too much congestion, then that's when you get all the contretemps, and we don't want that, do we? So this is going to be our little block, and I think one of the first things that we're going to consider is we're definitely going to want to consider a power supply. And I want to look at utilities. I just want to check, and I'm right, there was no other pipes or anything through there. So we're quite fine there. So we can go back into our planning, go to objects, and so we can plan out to, at the very least, have a power generator in here, like so, and we'll probably have heating. I think, see, I've been thinking that it might be a good idea to have sort of separate water. I know you don't have to, but because we've got events on, although in all fairness we haven't really had an event yet, have we? I wonder if that functionality, I wonder if it's working or not. But in the event that it does, it might be nice to have a new water supply in case if this blows up and that blows up. We'll lose all the water in all the prison, but if we have separate little units, then we'll lose a little bit. So we'll have a few disgruntled prisoners instead of the whole prison, you know, declaring riot on us. So I'm going to plan for that eventuality. It's not like we don't have the space. So that'll be our new sort of water and electricity. And I think when it comes to the actual water boilers, I will just provide for those as and when, because as we know they've got quite a limited range. And I mean, what we can do with the rest of that space is we can expand this forestry into it, or just leave it as is. So what I will do is we will have this, I think, as a fence along there. That'll just square all of, square all of that off for us. And we've got room if we want to put a water boiler or something in there. So we have this space. We've kind of left this for snipers, and I don't think it's a bad thing to have space from the walls and the prisoners. We need to make sure that these little rapscallions don't cause us too much grief. So we'll stick with that, and I think we will leave about that much space. So what we're sort of looking at is something, probably, let's take it to there for now. So as you can see, I'm thinking big here, and we've got the space, so why not? And what we'll need, I think, to consider first of all is the visitation, because this is where we want people to come in, but we don't necessarily want, you know, the prisoners to just, you know, them wander past all the cells and that sort of thing. We want to keep that a little bit private. So we'll start a corridor here, and I'll just drag this down here as a marker. As you know, this is just planning, so it can change, and quite frequently does. And then coming off this corridor, I want a little bit of a gap here, because I'm thinking that we can, I want the visitation to sort of come down this way. What I'm going to put there, I'm sort of thinking to leave space to be able to put the water boiler or something like that. But yeah, I'll actually do that. Doesn't need to be a big space. But now that we know that the booths, now we've got this in, they're 1, 2 space. So I want to make sure that we don't have this silly little wall thing that we had before. So I will have, it doesn't need too much space, but that's 1 booth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have quite a lot of prisoners, so I'd like, you know, a lot of visitation. Should I even go further than that? So 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Let's go for 10. So that gives us the length of that. Now, the visitation room, does it have a minimum? No, just has to be indoors and have a visitor table or booth. So, that's what I thought, but I thought I'll check, because as experience has taught me, I'm usually very good at messing up more than anything else. Okay, so we've given them that, and now we want the wall to come down exactly there. And oh, silly Tash. And then we will bring this to here. And what we will have is we will have, you know, a regular door going through there. Now we're going to have jail. Oops. My aim isn't very good today. And we will have a jail door here. And we're also going to put a jail door in there, so the prisoners can't go through here. I will switch this over to access only. Okay, so that's our visitation done and dusted. The next thing I think we need to look at is we need to consider, I think, because we've got this rather sort of long strip, to actually put a mail room in here on this corridor. I think that would work, wouldn't it? Because that, I think it's a minimum of 5, so we can easily do that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this can be our hallway of long skinny things. So we can throw a mail room in here, and I'm planning all this out so that, you know, if it doesn't work for us, then, you know, we've got the opportunity to change it around without having half the buildings built already. So what else? We could also put a common room, because that can also be kind of long and skinny, can't it? I think my brain remembering these things. The common room, I don't think that has a minimum or maximum size either. And I'm, you know, desperately seeking the common room. Oh shush! Why can't I find it? There we go. There it is. There. Just needs to be indoors. Okay. Well, that's easy done, isn't it? We'll go back to here, and we will do another long, skinny room. And I'm trying to keep this the same size, because what would be nice would be if this is then like an outdoor area, so that if we actually mark that out like this, so that we can have windows. It's a bit weird where the windows are going to be, but let's make that a bit bigger there. But we, you know, I think just being able to look outside, I think sometimes, you know, it's a good thing. And it's my weird brain thinking again. Excuse me. Okay, so after me, you know, trying to die quietly in a corner there, so that's us with the mailroom. Now I'm going to try and will it let me assign? Because if I can, I think we've tried this before, haven't we? And it doesn't. Let's try and see if how good I am at writing stuff. Not very. No! Hopeless, in fact. I need that to be longer. I was trying to fit it in and it's just not going to. It needs to do that at the very least, doesn't it? There we go. Oh, that'll be our mail room. And, oh, C's are easy. We can do this. Oops. And there we go, common room. That's pretty obvious as a visitation room, so I don't need to worry about that. And we could also do the hospital and the morgue in here, because that could be long and skinny. I mean, they all don't have to be long and skinny. In fact, sort of thinking of throughput, it's going to sound a bit bizarre, but I think that at this point we need to put in a corridor. Because yeah, I think that we need a bend here, so we can actually get rid of that bit and bring that across and do it that way. Because I think what I'd like to actually have here would be our canteen and our kitchen. Yes, I think if we can get the hospital, the canteen and the kitchen sort of fitted in here, and possibly, I'm trying to look, oh, there's so many things. There's the little cleaning cupboard, the laundry, the shop, chapel. We'll probably need another psychologist office, another parole room. There's a lot that goes into this, isn't there? So I'm trying to think, keep trying to think throughput all the time, because I mean we're going to want the prisoners in cells, but we don't want someone like way up here having to come all down here for something, because it's going to take time. So we've got to consider that. Thinking of that, it might actually be an idea to have some cells here, have the cells sort of around the outside. I'm happy with that little section. That's working for me. And I actually think I am going to narrow that just a little bit, like so. Too much as usual. Okay, so mailroom, common room. Do you know, actually I think that putting maybe the shop, the chapel, the parole and all that on this bend, that might work. Now I know the chapel is a minimum 5 by 5, but we're exceeding that on most things anyway. So yeah, I think that's a good thing, because they're going to come here to the common room and to the mail room. You know, this is good. This kind of, I'm trying to think, this is sort of the social side of the wing, and kind of keep that that theme. And then we'd want the shop and we'd want the chapel, wouldn't we? And we'd want the counselling side of it. So yeah, I think that's, I'm going to take that route. So let's have the psychologist's office and the parole room in here. And I think if we just go like that, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's sort of bare minimum for them all. So I'm actually going to make that a little bit bigger. We've got the room in this prison to make things a little bit roomier. So then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a psychologist office, a parole board, and the chapel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hoping to fit the chapel. Oh, there's shop in as well. That'd be 1, 2. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's, you know, that's not too bad, because yeah, I'm fine with that. So we'll just put doors in all of these, and of course I'm going to have to do my really weird writing now, just so that I know. I'm just going to put that this is an office. I think hopefully I'll figure out. We'll have this as an office, and then this will be parole, won't it? And there we go, parole. And then, oh lovely, I'm going to do shop now. Shop, shop, and then chapel. Okay, CSPO. Okay, and so what we have left is we have laundry, cleaning cupboard, infirmary, and canteen and kitchen, which we can put in here, in this space over here. I've just got this thing of like, I'm trying to figure out, I don't want the infirmary next to the canteen. Like, I mean, it's no reason why that it shouldn't be like that. I'm just thinking that wouldn't be pleasant. Oh, maybe it's oops, wrong thing. Okay, let's put in walls as far as that. And let's have a look, because we need a laundry and cleaning cupboard, and we can put, because I would like to sort of have the kitchen canteen over here. So we'll put this, you know, sort of have the kitchen at the back there, and then the canteen. But it does need to be like bigger capacity, because we are wanting to put more prisoners into this space. So we're probably going to want to take up that amount of space at least for our canteen. In fact, because I want, let's do what I normally do. Yeah, you see. Let me think about this. Let's put in at least that, because then we will have that, and then I want to be able to put at least, oh, you see, now that's working nicely. Yep. Got 4 serving tables there, and that is this space. 1, 2, 3. Yes, because we can go 4 that way. I ideally want to put in more tables, at least that much. Well, that's reasonable. We can have that, and we'll have the door in there, and then a door there. Or do we want a door there? Let me work out the rest of this. Because you see, what I'm thinking is that we can, this can be that's healthy, isn't it? Let's put the morgue right next to the kitchen. But again, we don't need to have walls, so then we can have hospital beds like so, can't we? Yes, Tashline's making pretty patterns. Huh? What? That wasn't where I wanted it. Just trying to optimize where they all go. Oopsie. See, that could work, and then we'd put a door in there. just clear out this space. So that is kitchen, canteen, morgue and infirmary. And now we want a laundry and a cleaning cupboard to go in this space. So I'm going to remove that as a door. I'm going to put a door there, because then that gives us a corridor down there, like that. And then what we do is that'll be a cleaning cupboard and that can be the laundry. So let me do my little, I'm never going to be able to write. I should be able to. Cleaning cupboard and laundry. Okay, so whew, so much planning, but we've got, look how much room we've taken up, and we haven't even put a single cell in yet. Wow. And what's next is we've got classroom and workshop. Actually, that's it, isn't it? Oh, and a yard. Well then, I want to start putting in some cells, because I think the classroom and the workshop and the yard can all be slotted in up there in that space that I've messed up. Just, oops, no, over there. Throw that all in over there. I'll even divide it up. Do like so. And we will make, this will be the yard. So we'll just do that so we know to make that fence. And then it's a workshop and that's a classroom. Done and dusted. So we pretty much will need a corridor like that, won't we? So then that makes this. I'm just marking this out. It's not going to be blocked in like this. This will be the space that we've got for cells. Okay. So quite likely this bit can be solitary. Gee, that's the size of a normal cell. I'm being very generous. Yeah, awkward. I'll think about that. So what do we want our cells? I don't want to do the normal sort of thing that I usually do with a cell. There you go, there's a cell. Kind of want them to have slightly bigger cells. I think that the 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's come down there. I think when it comes to cell rating, is there room quality? Here we go. I don't know if it shows you. You can have it that's at least 18 squares per prisoner. You can have a TV for 4 prisoners, a phone booth, bookshelf, chair, pool table, outdoor window, all different kind of gradings. We're not going to go for the maximum, you know, but I would kind of like us to give them slightly better accommodation. So, I mean, only this corner can have windows. So it would be about, I'm not even going to put a door in yet. And we have an autosave. Lovely. No, I'm not going to put a door in. So we can have that, then we would have to have a corridor before we had the next lot. We could take that all the way up there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. Just want to see how many cells we can get in. 2, 3, 4, and a line. So I think we'll need, that's 50 that we need. And these are not going to be individual cells, these are going to be dormitories again. 2, 3, 4, and there's going to be better dormitories. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, wasn't that just perfect? Does it work this way? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. It's got to go wrong somewhere for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. And it goes wrong here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a line. Yes. Okay. Actually, that's not too much of a problem because that'll just be like a corridor. No. This needs to be expanded, and this is fine because this was just what we really need. Really should start my planning much better. We'll need a corridor there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these ones are unfortunately not going to get windows when we go in the center, but you know, you can't have everything. I'm going to remove this line. We're going to have another corridor here. And that'll be where our prison goes. And that's really not a problem because we just we take this along further, don't we? It wasn't set in stone, was it? Probably set in fence, to be fair. So there we go. Bit of a bigger yard. I don't think I'll see them complaining. And we'll bring that down like that. In fact, what we can do here is we can actually sort of have the yard come all the way down here instead of across there, like so. So they just walk straight in that way. Give them a bit more room. Now, trying to think about sort of outdoor space because I wonder if these can fit in an indoor space. Yes, because I've got one there. Okay. My brain just went somewhere else then, because I know I'm going to need a few water boilers, but I've got space here for one, and there's space down here for one that can be closed off to the prisoners, and then outside the walls over here if I need to. So yes, so then we'll leave a gap because that worked, didn't it? We'll take that all the way up there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. 2, 3, 4. And there we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Because what that means is we can have like a central block of cells coming all the way up here. That doesn't look right. No, it's not. My brain was going, that doesn't look right. I don't know why. So So this is actually quite efficient. And if we've got 2 prisoners in each of these cells, we're going to be doing all right. They've got all the facilities they need in their cell block. And interestingly, this works out as well. A nice little pattern, which means that this area here we can now mark out for solitary, and we know that solitary doesn't have to be pleasant, so we're not going to make it pleasant, are we? That's it, that's solitary. Alright, and let's see. Is there enough room? There isn't, is there? There can be. I think. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look what I've done there. So we can have a fair few solitary cells. Because, you know, they've got a little corridor going there and a little corridor going there. And that's it. That's solitary, chaps. So there we go. Let's see. Check we've got everything, because I'm bound to have forgotten something. We have got visitation. Check. We've got our mail room. We've got a common room. We have got the cleaning cupboard. At least no, it's not the cleaning cupboard, is it? Cleaning cupboard's over there. That is the chapel. You won't forget. Chapel, shop, parole. And that's office for the psychologist office. Then here we have the laundry. We have the cleaning cupboard. We have the canteen. We have the kitchen. We have the morgue and infirmary. We have workshop and classroom. We have a yard. And all the other stuff that they need, toilets and everything else, will go into the cells. Objects, we will have cell doors there and there and there and there. Oops. There. Oh, I'm not going to bother with that. Meh. We'll fix that. So we'll sort out once we've built the whole area. We'll sort out how we furnish one cell. Well, what I'll do is I'll probably do these 2 cells in mirror image of each other, because then they'll just copy across to whichever side, which will be fine. And we're going to put in our utilities over here. We've obviously got to then sort out heating and sprinklers and all that kind of thing. And we're going to want to extend this corridor out to here and put in doors. I'm going to keep that camera there. That doesn't seem to obstruct them. I think it's probably sort of suspended from the ceiling somewhere, but there are no ceilings in here, so yeah, I'm quite happy for it to be there. And then we will have to sort out cameras and probably more staff. Okay, so what I need to think about now is foundations, concrete. Okay, now it's going to be, I'm going to just do that line to there, and then this line to there. That's all going to be concrete. We know this is going to be yard, so that's not concrete. And see, I'm debating about making this an external space, but I don't honestly think that there's any point to having it as an external space. It's just as good to have it as a little corridor that's blocked off for staff that's got utilities in there. So I will bring this down to here and take that right across to there. Look how much money that is. Wowzer. Oh, and look, trust me, And then all of this is also enclosed. Oh, I've done it again. Okay. There we go. No. Sheesh, I'm bad at this. Okay. There we go. And then all of that in there. Is that us? Yep. And then we're going to want to put fence in here. And how are we going to access this? We definitely need a staff entrance of some sort. But do they come in through here? There's no entrance to that forestry, I've just noticed. Oh yes, there is. There's a little door there. So what I'm going to do is we will have a staff door here. And let me put that in now. Have a staff door there. And we will have a large jail door here. So then we can sort of make that sort of staff access only. And the other large jail door is going to be in there. So we're going to step it up like so. And we're going to let them build that. And that's quite a lot of building for those chaps to do. And we're going to get quite a few deliveries coming in. Here they come. Oh, the storeroom's getting filled up. Lovely. And they're going to start working on that. Whew. That's going to take some doing. Now, I see there's lots of things up for parole, and I honestly don't think... No, policy, no, where is it? Programs. I don't think I have parole actually set up. So let's set up one parole. There we go, so they can actually have their parole hearing. We'll set up the workshop safety because we've got workshops. Oh, and as I said that there was no interest, so we'll stop that. Wait until there's somebody interested. None interested, none interested. This one, that's doctor in an infirmary. Well, yes, we can definitely do that. This one is psychologist in a common room. We can do that one. We definitely do the guards with their tasers. And this one is in a chapel, so we can do that one. And did we do the alcoholics? That one's not letting me. In the common room, each prisoner requires a chair. Would that be that I don't have any chairs in the common room? Let's have a look. Quite correct. I'm learning to problem solve this thing. So let us put in some chairs, and that, when that's in, that'll allow us to do that program. So that's something to remember for this new common room as well. And here they go. And what we can also do, which I'd nearly forgotten, is our utilities. We can put in our 2 power stations and the water pump for that power station. Actually, let's move that power station down, because I didn't think about putting capacitors around it. It just occurred to me now. Oh, lovely. So we'll get rid of that now because that's going to go in. Nice. So yes, then we've got to think about where we're going to put sprinklers and heaters. And have they put that jail door in yet? It's still to install. Why don't they put that in first? Wouldn't that make their life quite a lot easier? Huh, I don't know. And we'll get some sales from the wood for those trees. And once we've got them actually working in the workshops, we'll get money from whatever What they've got in there. Huh. But everything seems to be ticking along. We're running at a loss, but that's because we're running programs, which is why we really need to get this cell block up and running fairly quickly. So we're making a little bit, but yes, the reform programs that are making us run at a loss. So what we could do is have a very serious look. So that class is full. That one's active. Have a quite serious look at what we can afford. We'll let those run for now. We'll just have a look at the interest and see. We definitely need to run the parole hearing, and we should. We've only got 10 guards, so once they've passed their certification, we could close that down, and that should help us. And wow, so much work to do here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end the recording here. I will let this run on so that this finishes up. I'm afraid I can't do sort of speed up. It doesn't go any faster than this. So I'll just let this run, and when we come back next week, this will be built, and it'll just be adding in all of the walls and putting in all of the, what I like, all the little objects, and sort of working out how it's all going to look. So for now, we're just going to leave them build. So I'll leave it there, and just thank you for joining me, for watching this, for enjoying this time with us. And you know, it's from Charlie the dog, who's curled up on 2 beds. How he's managed to do that, I don't know. From Puddin, who's curled up inside his little cap tree, and Pie, who's making my one leg very, very warm. From all of us, you know, we love you loads. Peace out, peeps.